And we continue to follow breaking news. This afternoon, an historic ruling in a civil lawsuit against the state of New Hampshire. A jury awarding $38 million to David Meehan, who says he was abused while at the youth detention center in the 90s.
Now, there are questions about just how much of that money Meehan will see. Joining us now, former prosecutor Patricia LaFrance. Okay, Patricia, did this surprise you at all? And is it rare, a decision and award like this?
Yeah, it is rare in the state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire juries are notoriously low, they lowball, I think, these damages that they award. And as their press release stated, this was the highest award ever given in a civil case.
And Patricia, the state is disputing how much money it will actually have to pay here, saying regardless of the $38 million judgment, that it only actually owes David Meehan $475,000. What do you make of this? How can you explain this?
Yeah, well, there is a state law that talks about the limits on damages that a civil complaint can be awarded. And I suspect, the AG's very short statement on this about respecting the jury's verdict, but I anticipate they would appeal the award of a damage this high. What's interesting is that statute that they refer to, it also talks about how you cannot get certain types of damages, punitive damages, which is usually where the big money comes from, the punitive damages. It was a little odd to see the jury award compensatory damages and then what they called additional damages, not punitive damages. So I think that was a way to stay within that statute. But yeah, I suspect the attorney generals will be appealing this award to the Supreme Court.
And there are more criminal cases related to abuse at the YDC that are coming. If you're an attorney for one of these clients, what are you taking out of the verdict today moving forward?
Yeah, I'm as an attorney, I would be watching very closely the appeal, what happens on appeal, to see if the Supreme Court does knock down that award. And courts have done that before, knock down awards. But yeah, as an attorney, I would certainly be looking at it. And then keeping in mind, every jury is different. Juries are made up of just people from around the state. Some juries, maybe in one parts of the state, could be entirely different than another jury. So certainly you look at this as a precedent. And if you win your case, then you say, okay, this is how I'm going forward. This is what I'm basing this on. So yeah, definitely the attorneys involved with the other suits are definitely keeping an eye on this one.
Yeah, and on top of those criminal cases, this particular case was a civil case, and there are more than 1,000 similar civil lawsuits against the state alleging abuse at the YDC. So will this verdict impact those cases? Does it provide a framework for those in any way?
It will. It will definitely. And as I said, any attorney representing future litigants will definitely be looking at this and looking at the civil award and what the Supreme Court does with it. But I just want to clarify with regards to any criminal cases, of course, the standard of proof is different for a criminal case. Criminal cases beyond a reasonable doubt. And this jury, obviously, it's a civil case. That's a lower burden of proof. So, and I don't think it would impact any criminal verdict because the allegations might be a little bit different. And obviously the burden of proof and the elements that have to be proven would be different. So, but, definitely it's something that all attorneys involved, whether they're criminal or civil attorneys, will definitely be keeping an eye on this and seeing what the Supreme Court says.
All right, Patricia LaFrance, thanks so much.
Thank you.